Welcome back to Two Tamers Talk, waywardcity.com. I'm Jesse, joined via satellite from his amazing hotel room in San Jose, California. My man Jeff.
What can I say, guys? It's great to see you. I miss you guys. I'll see you soon.
The man, the myth, the legend. All right, man. How you doing down there?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. But I heard Locals was pretty good. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we missed you last night. I mean, we did, but we didn't because we had 16 people last night. That's what's up. It was fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. I stepped off the security controlled Digimon deck. I stepped off it for a minute. I had to get back. I get this itch, man, where I got to play Machine at least once a month. So I stepped into my Machine, and because it's just, if I don't play it, it doesn't get representation for whatever at locals. And
That's
so
your deck.
I know. I don't. Anyone can play it. I it's my baby. I love that deck. So I jumped in. I got third, so I was pretty happy. The only person that beat me was the dude that got first. So props to him. But I had a good time, and it was good. It was good. I love playing Machine. It's such a good time. Even if I lose, I don't have a terrible time playing Machine. It's just a blast. But it was really cool. We had 16 players out, and that's without you and Jacob and some of the other regulars that have some real life shit going on right now, just with work and other opportunities. So, man, once all you guys are back in town, we're up to like 20 plus at locals, and anyone that plays this game knows that like that's like 5 rounds. That's like all night. That's good times, and that's on a Wednesday. So I will take that any day of the week. So if you're in the Portland, Vancouver area, come join this 20 plus player base on Wednesday. We can get up to like 32 players. It'd be dope. But so yeah, we had a great night. We actually had like 2 of our players come back, and a couple more that sound like they're coming back that dropped after BT7.
We missed you guys. We're glad you came back.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see you guys in person and catch up.
Yep.
More importantly, I would love to pick your brain. What made you take a quick break from the game? And other people, for those who are listening, like what makes you, feel like you need to step away, or what formats kind of drove you away, or what's drawing you back in. So we'd love to hear more from you guys.
Well, I do know that these guys left during BT7, and I don't blame a lot of people that left during BT7 because like the game was still fun, right? For the people that like are super hardcore into the game, but it was ultra competitive. Blue hybrids was just running rampant. You also had like purple, yellow, like crazy stuff going on, and it's like I don't blame a lot of people for leaving. It was also it was a very extended format. We were waiting. There's all the shipping delays and everything. So I think we were sitting in that format for the better part of like 3 months, waiting for EX1 to come out. So, interesting. Or was EX1? Yeah. EX1 or 2, whatever that was, whatever that supplemental one was. Yeah, I think we were just marinating in BT7 for way too long. So I'm glad everyone took a little break, and it's nice. The community kind of embraced them, and I think that everyone's just like, whatever you need. If you need some cards from the last 3 sets,
favorites. We love them. We want them there
for sure. Yeah, it was really cool seeing like the mixture of newer players with the players that kind of have stepped away for a minute. Like it was a good menagerie. It was a good night. I heard you found some locals too.
I did. So yes, I actually got played in 2 since our last episode.
Cool.
Played 1 on Saturday, so I put it up to the vote on the video.
Okay.
Rookie Rush was the vote, and unfortunately, I dropped the ball and did not pack 4 jamming VMons. Apparently,
oh, those aren't important.
They're not like best level 3 in the deck or whatever. So I ended up going with my Gao deck, which I was also on the fence about playing because I just love that deck so much. It's so fun. And while I was there, I ended up trading, got some jamming Vs for my next locals.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I only got 3. So with the prize pack that I got from that locals, a.k.a. Gomamon here, he was a substitute Vmon for a day.
Equally as good, right?
So yeah, so don't worry. There's not going to be a new video. Don't play that Gomamon. It was only because I was missing a Vmon.
Gotcha.
But that locals with the Gao went pretty well. I 2-0'd my first round against D Brigade.
Ooh.
That matchup was I was scared about that matchup, but I got really fast, super aggressive, nothing they could have done about it. Round 2 was against the Alpha, and man, do I struggle with the Alpha matchup.
No, I feel that.
Yeah, it's, like I can do Digivolve 1, 2 in a turn. Doesn't matter. They'll just go right back up. They'll just gain the memory, or I can, get them down to 0 security, but by the time that has happened, they have their Tamers, they have their stack, they have all the pieces in hand, and they're just gone.
Well, you're just super reliant on Megadeth at that point, right?
Yep. And then my final round that day was against the Mother. I played a Black Mother.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a good deck, and I was supposed to win that because I have the Gal with the Metal Gray, right? And game 3 just totally whiffed on the draws. Didn't get the Metal Gray when I needed.
Dang.
But what was So then last night, I went to a big card shop in the Santa Clara area, and I played the Rookie Rush.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have played against that deck, my worst matchup is with that deck. It's Mastamon.
Yeah.
And lost round 1 to that. Came pretty close, but couldn't quite get the Psychmon when I needed. It was super, super great games, but he's a really good Mastamon player. Just the whole area, super competitive, super meta. Everyone's so excited to play in the San Diego and the regionals coming up.
That's right. I forgot about those down there. Yeah, that's right around the corner.
So we had a great turnout. It was a lot of Metal Guru X decks, right? And a lot of them were playing the red package with the Hero Delicate Plan.
Interesting.
So that was interesting. Yep. A lot of security control players. 3 Musketeer player, which I feel bad for. My last round was against the 3 Musketeer player. Completely
blew him out of the water.
Strong.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people really, really teching against security control, and then also bringing security control, right? So there's that matchup in the meta where it's just okay, do I put Delicate Plan? Do I put the hero in? Which it can work in decks. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it necessarily, but I understand why. But what was really interesting about these, right? So the shops in this area are practicing Mulligans and Sideboard.
Both.
Yes. So,
interesting.
Did not have anybody use the Sideboard against me.
But the regional's not.
So, I guess the regional... I can't remember what their reasoning behind using the Mulligan, but I guess it's because the last event had Mulligan or something, and maybe this one's going to have Mulligan. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But it was super interesting playing with the Mulligans, right? So you draw your hand, and for those of you that have played other card games with the Mulligans, you guys know what I'm talking about, where, maybe your hand is all right, but not great, so you risk it, right, by sending all 5 cards at the bottom of the deck, draw a new hand, and see how you go. So I just feel like it's such an interesting point of conversation. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean... This has come up multiple times in the past 8 months, ever since they kind of announced that they were toying with the idea of it. And I think that everyone's kind of frustrated with it just in the fact that Bandai hasn't given us a yay or a nay. They've just given us kind of we're going to try it when we want to try it. If you want to try it, you can try it. But it's it's not, there's no rules either way. And it seems like they tried it and then they took it back. No, we don't like it.
You kind of can't give people something like that and then take it away. It's hard to really to do that, but it's such an interesting point. But what are your personal opinions on it?
So my personal opinions is that in this game they are each one of those 2 options benefits and detriments different types of play styles in this game by so much that I think that it's hard. And I think that we see that so much because we try and be a very equal opportunity play group. Yeah. And we've polled our local play group multiple times and we say, okay, who likes Mulligans? And half the room will raise their hands. And then we'll say, who likes, Sideboards? And then the other half of the room will raise their hands. And the problem is that the people that like Sideboards hate Mulligans and vice versa. And I think it's because of play style, right? So if people are playing super meta decks or they're playing something super spicy, they don't want to see Sideboards because they don't want those techs that completely turn their deck off. You're never going to see Mother D Reaper in a tournament that has Sideboards because people are just going to tech in either the new, we're getting reduced play cost deniers all the way through. We're going to have one of every color eventually, and people are going to tech those in their Sideboards, and it'll just turn Mother D Reaper off. So people that play those decks don't want to see Sideboards. And then people that play against players like us that play Mega Zoo decks, if we play a Zoo deck, we want Mulligans, right? Because that's the one thing that really kills Mega Zoo players is bricks. And it's we can't dig ourselves out of a brick. We don't have the Digivolves. We don't have that kind of stuff. I mean, we can tech in some little things here and there, but it's if we have a chance to see 20% of our entire deck and choose between the 2 hands,
yep,
and then know what the other 5% of the deck is in that security, I mean, know what the chances of that 5, you know what I mean? Like if you get to look at 10 cards and you see all 4 of something that's in your deck, then you have that knowledge that that's not in your security. So I think that there's so many things. So that's why we don't implement it at our shop, because everyone is so divided on it. We don't want to lose players either way. So I think we lose the least amount of players by not implementing it at all. But I think that they're both really cool ideas, and I think that it really just comes down to like what your local shop likes. And if you guys all come to an agreement, you want to do it, and it makes the game more fun for you and your play group, then go for it. But I don't think that they're going to ever include it. At least, I mean, don't mark my words on that. But I don't think, I mean, we haven't seen it as a hardcore rule in Japan, I don't think yet, right?
Yeah. I know it's not set in stone. So I just want to say about the whole mulligan thing, you know, like I feel like when you play this game, right, and you start deck building and you start learning how to deck build, right, you start knowing I got to play some 2-cost level 3s just in case. I got to start playing, you know, those ground Ramons for red. Yeah. Right. Remember the 5 hard drop, the 2 to evolve, just in case when you really brick and you don't want to give your opponent too much memory. Just cards like that you really put into your deck in case you do, right? That's a whole aspect of deck building that gets taken away. And it just rewards the decks that are so over the top. Like imagine Jesmon back in its peak with, you know, before Savior Huck was restricted, right? Yeah. And having Mulligan, you know, like how fast they could have gone. It's insane. But it was interesting though, like, you know, for me when I was playing it this week, having like a hand where 2 of the cards were really good, and I really would have liked them to have my combo, but I chose to get rid of the whole hand, knowing I wasn't going to see, you know, that particular tamer if I had 2 of it in my hand, whatever, go to the bottom of the deck. Yeah. So it's such a tough call, such a tough conversation. The sideboards is interesting too, because it's the same thing with deck building, right? Like, you know, you're going to have your memory denier level 3s in your deck, and then if you're not playing against a deck that it matters, you're just going to take it out and put in the level 3 you probably actually wanted to use anyway.
Right, and I mean, you're looking at these big meta stuff, all this big meta stuff when it comes to sideboards too, and it's like you're just I feel like your sideboard in this format would be like 3 Psychmons and 2 Death X's. Yeah, you know,
it depends on color, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're going to play against, like, you play against Armor Rush. You're like, okay, cool, I'm going to put in Death X's. And then you just win the game. You know, and it's like...
Armor Rush with Death X.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's really hard, because I think that Bandai's really trying to make up for, like, the fact that you can brick in this game, but the way that they design security in this game, and if you're going to mulligan, you're not reshuffling, because I'm not a fan of reshuffling your whole deck. I'm also not a fan of not knowing what's in your security, but knowing the odds of what's in your security so much with the mulligan. I think that it's bad either way, because anytime you shuffle the deck, like, I hope this game never gets to the point where you search your library like you do in Magic and you have to shuffle, because shuffling takes so long in this game, and at 55-minute rounds you have to play 3 games. I mean, no one likes to tie. So
especially when you're playing against security control, it always goes to time against them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's not enough time to shuffle your whole deck. So it's like, it's rough. I mean, feel free to chime in the comments. I mean, if you guys have a really good system that works, I mean, tell us we're wrong. But we're just trying to make everybody happy, and it's really hard because neither of those makes everybody happy or even close to it. So, all right, so we are moving into the news, and man, there is so much news. I mean, just as of today, my inbox was just overflowing with things to talk about. I already had stuff to talk about. We already had things we wanted to talk about. And then they just smacked us in the face with this BT10 delay. I'm like, okay, let's talk about that. Actually, before we jump into that all together, let's do an errata on our last 2 Tamers talk as far as the starter decks go. They have announced that they are...
We already have erratas. We're just like Bandai.
Yep. We're going to errata episode 2. They have announced that the starter decks are not going to be legal until the global release of the starter decks themselves. So if you do manage to get those premium sets a little bit early, they are not legal until the 14th, I believe. 14th or 15th.
Yeah, 14th.
Okay, so errata out of the way. They have delayed BT10 by a week in North America. Now, what that means is it's going to come out at the exact same time as the starter decks, which honestly, considering all the Jesmon stuff in BT10, they should have just done that anyways. in my opinion.
I kind of thought they already should have. Yeah, definitely agree. They should have had them at the same time.
Yeah, so I don't think it really hit anybody hard other than the local game stores that already had tickets sold for pre-release and people that had, like me, that had time requested off that now have to, like, from their real jobs, that have to actually move that a week later. Like, luckily I'm in a position where I don't have to, like, beg and plead someone to move that, but I know a lot of people are in shitty positions where they have to figure out how to move their time off to fit that new pre-release schedule. And we had less than a month notice, so I do feel for those people. It does suck for those people. But as far as, like, in this format, this is not a format that I'm dying to wait in for another month. It's not terrible. You know, it's okay. How do you feel about the delay?
So I know I probably have an unpopular opinion on this, right? I'm okay with these delays, guys. I know there's a lot of people that are upset about delays and frustrated with Bandai for not being able to meet their timelines and stuff. I understand where you're coming from. You know, and from a larger company, right? If they give you a date, you should be able to get that. I get that, right? But with just the way the world is, you know, honestly, Bandai probably should just start giving themselves a week notice, like an extra anyways, you know, at this point, so they don't have to necessarily push back timelines. But I don't think it's a bad thing for the game. I mean, the game's growing strong, you know, a little bit more time to get some extra money in your pocket so we can buy all those nice alt arts, and less time, or a little bit more time to prepare for the Shoutmon madness. Yeah. So I know, again, I might have an unpopular opinion, but I agree with you. This isn't like the hybrid format where it sucked to be stuck in that, right?
Yeah.
Where we're okay waiting a little bit longer. There's enough kind of fun decks that we can play, or enough things that we can do to kind of eat up the time, right?
Yeah, and I think that considering how long we've been made to wait before for delays, when they're like, guess what, you have to wait a month. Yeah. Like, this is a little bit different. This is just another week. It's just like, okay. I mean, and pre-release always a week before release anyway, so we're going to get our hands on these cards within the next couple weeks regardless, right?
Well, this is great news for Jacob. He's overseas right now for work, and he doesn't get back in time for the pre-release, but now he will. Yeah,
so we'll get to see his awesome Lilithmon deck updated for BT10. Yeah, we'll see all the cool stuff. So, now that we're done with the news that everyone knows about, so being as involved with our LGS as we are, obviously they kind of sponsored this channel and they hook us up with a lot of cool stuff. WaywardCityGames.com. I am also privy to a lot of the information coming out of TCG Plus. Now, none of it is deemed private or anything, so none of this is not supposed to be shared, but they do get some. Thomas gets some information a little bit earlier because he has to sign up for events on TCG Plus like sometimes 6 to 8 months out. So we do get to see what's coming, and a couple of the things that he told me about today that just popped up today on his TCG Plus as a store account. We do have apparently more store championships coming up in November.
Yes.
Which is great because we have some more of those nice alt arts, you know, some more chance for invites to regionals, all that good stuff. I mean, we get to see those ultra competitive decks. We get to see people come in from miles and miles and miles away to play in our store. I mean, we had people from Seattle come down and just kill last time.
This is just a great example, right? Like, you know, people are worried, of course Bandai can't deliver or can't give us product when I get that. Like, I understand the frustrations. Don't get me wrong. But, like, this just shows the strength of the game.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's growing. Like, there's more demand for regionals. More people want to play. More store championships. Like, they're ramping up the level of competition. It's nothing but good signs. Yeah. So, you know, I will take that trade-off. If that's a trade-off to have one, week pushed out for the format, okay, whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited. Another round of store champs. I love seeing those new faces and the people that just come in from other regions, and just come in and bring in their try-hard stuff. Yeah, for sure.
So I got to figure out what I'm going to play for that store championship.
I mean, it's going to be BT10 format, so, I mean, whatever kind of madness we cook up between now and then. The next big thing, and this one I thought was really cool because this is something that they did in Japan that so you don't quote me on what the format's going to be, but the verbiage on the tournament, and it's for March 2023, so it's a while out, but the verbiage on the tournament sign up for the store through TCG Plus was ST14 Beelzemon tournament.
Purple? talking about
That's
like a
what it
purple
was in
tournament?
Japan. Okay, so in Japan, that was announced as a purple-only tournament.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what the specific format was because I didn't really look into it that hard because I was like, oh, there's no way we're going to do that here because the way that they do tournaments is different over there, typically. Like, they didn't get the Evo Cup stuff for a very long time. But if this is truly going to be a purple-only tournament, it's going to be very interesting, especially considering I don't know what they're going to do with dual color cards or any of that.
I think dual color cards should be allowed. I'm okay with that. Question is, do you think this will turn a lot of people off, or do you think we'll get a lot of people who don't normally play purple to play purple?
I think it's just going to drive my Bezelmon alt arts from base set up real high.
Absolutely.
So I'll be on the lookout for that, guys. Like, if that's something that actually, I mean, there is a tournament in TCG Plus for your local stores, so feel free to have your LGSs check out those and sign up for them now. But if that is going to be the format, that's going to be the most unique format we've seen for a tournament yet in this game to date.
So do I play purple EOS?
I think you play Cherubi, man. You play Cherubi all day. That deck's too good. Too good.
I don't know, man. I love my Digiburst Metal Garuru too. That's a great deck.
It is. But I think your Cherubi's just way more terrifying. All right. Well, that's it for like the big news. I mean, we had some other stuff planned, like some BT11, like alt art card reveals. We can get into that. And there's also the ST14. There has been some leaks as far as those cards go, but I think if we just take care of that next week, we'll probably have almost the full deck list.
You'll have translations and everything. It'll be a lot cleaner, I think.
Yeah, and they're not just scans from like magazines that people took pictures with their phones and stuff like that. So we'll have the full translations. I think next week we'll probably jump into the BT11 alt arts and the ST14 reveals and stuff like that. One thing also I did notice today that I didn't catch before for BT10 that we have coming up in a couple weeks. Do you know all the box toppers we get in that?
Shoot, I thought I heard what they were.
So we get the eggs as per usual, right?
Okay, so that's good.
And then we're gonna get the is it the anniversary, whatever, that the alt art pack, not the contest pack, but the one that has the metal gray in it that we've been fighting over.
What great box toppers!
Oh, there's such nice cards in that. I mean, not a lot of them are super played, but that one is by far going to be the one that people chase. And then when they open their packs, my question is to you.
Yes.
I think there's 3 cards in a pack.
3 in a pack.
I believe.
Okay.
So, do you think that it's going to be a set 3, like the same 3 are going to be your same chances at 3 are going to be in every pack?
I'm going to say yes, because I feel like Bandai's kind of have some patterns when you open packs. I feel like I've opened enough packs where I don't know if I have the exact same commons, but I know I get like the same rares like right next to each other when I open packs, depending on what they are. So,
but it goes back and forth, right? Because like if you think about like obviously like the TP 3 or 4 had the color, right? The color designation, like you got a green tamer, 3 green cards, yellow tamer, 4 yellow, 3 yellow cards, right? But then there's also like the dash packs or the power up packs, where you get 1 foil and then 1 non-foil, but they were never the same.
That's true. I feel like they would have to do something like that where that would be the case.
Yeah, so I'm curious about that. But did you know there's also another box topper?
Another one in there?
There is.
Another one meme right here.
So what are we missing right now that Japan got?
I know, because we were just talking about the Bezelmon stuff. We're talking about those promo level 3s for every color that have security effects.
We are missing those, but those are not coming in this. There's something else we're missing.
How do we get those? I need those.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows yet, man. That has not been. But there is something else we're missing. Because we missed a very important number, because we went from ST10 to ST12.
Oh.
So ST11, which were all Japan, it was a starter deck that Japan got.
Yep.
That was all there was no new cards except for 1 promo. There was 1 new promo, and then the rest were alternate art cards for just red cards throughout all the sets. So we are getting essentially a dash pack box topper in BT10. So there's a ton of box toppers in BT10.
A ton of great content in that box. It's going to make the value of that box really good. I think, well, it'd be interesting to follow our market watch through this set as it continues, but this box could be the most value in a box we've had in a long time.
I think you get your 4th art Gaia Force.
Great, I don't need another one. I already have such a good one with the Tame Revolution box. I don't need any more.
But yeah, so I mean, 3 box toppers for BT10 and the chance at the Ghost Alpha. Yep. This could be a contender against the Double Diamond box for number 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to open a bunch of boxes on video here.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for this week's news. I know there was a lot in there, and we still have a lot more news to talk about, but we can't just cram it all into one. So we're going to split a little bit of it up and put it in the next episode. So moving on, this is kind of our new favorite thing to do. Shout out to one of our bros for recommending this format. But what is your card of the week, Sir Jeff?
I'm so glad you asked me this. So it's Megadeth. I'm sorry. I'm not even
another layup.
It's too good of a card. Megadeth right now at this point is just changing the way I build decks. Like, it just gives so much strength to Imperial. I don't think, obviously Imperial Dramon's a very strong deck, but I don't think it would be nearly the contender it is without it. And it's the whole inspiration for my Rookie Rush deck that I feel like has been just carrying, very strongly. So for me, it's Megadeth.
I'm not going to fault you on that one. It's just too strong of a card not to love. I mean, like, you have, like, it is, I mean, you already know, like, how many green decks have I built in the last 2 years? Not many, right? And now all of a sudden, now all of a sudden you got, like, the Demi Vmon package, and then you're like, well, why don't I just play, like, green? And then I can use Megadeth. Because it's like, it gives you a reason to open that door in your mind, whereas, like, wow, and then I saw, like, all the good level 5 greens there are. Like, let's play a zoo deck. Let's have fun with it. And it's been working out really well for me, just because it's like, it activates Insecurity too. Like, it'd be one thing. Honestly, I think that card should just go to your hand. Insecurity. It needs something. It is so strong, but it's okay. It's okay. They have teched against it with the like Greymon X Inheritables, the Alteress, which is hard to get anyways. Alteress mode.
And to be fair, sometimes you just give them the piece back in their hand, they'll just reuse that card again. So I Megadeth attacks yesterday, and still ended up winning the game. Just had to play very carefully, knowing that it was in their hand. But still a good card.
I had a game yesterday where they Megadeth 3 times my Machine Dramon, and I played it right back out 3 times.
Yeah, I
mean, because it just puts all the pieces back in the trash, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so you just play it again.
Sure. Let's just get all those in your trash. But no, Megadeth is a great card. Would you like to know mine?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a little bit of history with mine, because I hated this card when it came out. You loved it because you were a purple player, and I didn't play Machine Dramon initially, but I keep finding good uses for this card.
Okay.
I got to go Analog Youth.
Yes.
Such
a good card.
Man, it is so good, and I thought it was gonna die with the Black War Gray when it came out. I just haven't seen it. It is so good, and there's more and more decks where it's opening up to be a good deck in colors that you wouldn't think it would be good. Like, I play a lot of Machine Dramon. Obviously, it's really, really, really good in that. But for purple, it belongs in almost any purple deck. And then I've even found a lot of love for it in Jesmon, because you're really trying to get those sisters in trash. So it's like, if you can find a way to play it in half of the colors of the game, and it's becoming more and more rare as time goes along as far as the alt art goes, because we know how hard that alt art is to pull.
1
out of a case.
1 out of a case we pulled. Yeah.
It is
such a card.
And the texture and the color, and it pops.
Gotta be my favorite alt art. I still think to this day.
It is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and you can stare at that card and find, like, Digimon in the background that you didn't see before. Like, you just got it's cool. It's very well textured. It's very well done. It's out of a set that not a lot of people buy, but it's a card that I think a lot of people will end up needing. And you see a lot of these high end decks in purple and stuff, and it's too good of a card not to use. So,
the only thing that will make that card better, as soon as we get our first white hybrid.
Oh yeah, Totally. And you know what the other weird part about that card is? I'm just going to ramble about it for an hour.
It's such a great card.
Most people don't realize what the secondary effect of it is. They think it's just a dig and trash card. But then they're
you
like,
don't always have to use it, you know?
And then they'll kill something, and you're like, cool, it's my turn now. And they're like, what?
Memory.
Because I got 4 of them on the board, so just gained 4 memory because you decided you want to swing and kill something I had. So it's just like it's too good of a card. I haven't used the hatch and egg thing very often. That's kind of a weird.
That doesn't buy a whole lot, you know. It's not bad, right? Like it's a little bit more in purple, like because purple kind of deletes its own stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that will extend your play and give you some more card draw. So I feel like that more hatch of an egg thing is more. I don't want to say geared towards purple because obviously it could be used in any color, right?
Yeah.
But it's really purple that takes the most advantage of that particular effect.
Do you think it'll get more play when these purple and green cards come out and people start pairing it with the Mimi?
That is such an interesting point. That is a great point. So stay tuned to the channel, guys. I love tinkering with purple with any color, really. So I'll be sure of building purple green, and I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Because Mimi is still the best green tamer. I don't think anybody can argue that. Maybe the only argument is JP for hybrid decks, but that's like one deck where Mimi is every deck, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So Analog Youth would be, I think, really good in that. I think Analog Youth, speaking of all the dual color purple stuff with the red, purple Imperial stuff, but yeah, it's
New Titamon.
New Titamon, yeah, right. More like the green purple Tyrannos I'm gonna make.
Oh yeah. We all know that's coming.
Yeah, we all know Tyranno Talk. Stays tuned.
That's a different podcast. All right. Well, I think that's going to kind of wrap it up. Let's just kind of finish on what are you working on this week other than staying out of trouble out there in old California.
So, it's so funny that you mentioned Analog Youth because that is actually one of the things I'm working on this week. I feel like I never got to do the Mommy Mons justice. Okay. So bring back the Mommy Mons. I'm going to try to work out a list that I think is going to work. I'm having fun tinkering with some stuff for that. I'm still binge watching Digimon Ghost Game, so I got to build a Jelly Force deck like everyone else is doing right now. I'm loving the idea of throwing these purples in it, though. You can play Cerberus Werewolf mode, delete your blue Cerberus from set 1.
Yeah, that deck you sent me was... I'd have to see it. I couldn't even wrap my mind around it.
It's going to be crazy interesting, so we'll see how that turns out. But that's what I'm planning on working on. What about you?
So I made that BT1 Turbo Shout deck with the with the Greymon X's and the Alteris modes, and I think I did a lot of testing with it with a couple people, and I like it a lot. You
put Nokia in there?
4 of them, of course.
Yeah. You did put Nokia. I don't remember seeing that on your list. I was gonna say Zeke Greymon. For those of you that know me, we all know Burning Greymon is not a Greymon.
Yeah.
Get that shit ready.
Yeah. No. I got Zeegs in there. I got 3 Zeegs, 3 Shouts.
That is a Greymon. That is a Greymon.
In the testing, I got it to work the way I want it to. It's just not the right Omni is the problem. So I think I would have a lot better odds if I went with the blitzes and maybe 1X. I think I'm going to go 3 blitz, 1X. Yeah. Even the whole point of the deck was to bring back BT1 Omni, but it's not fast enough. It's just not fast enough, yeah.
That's what happens. It's like you want to go back to those old cards that you just have like so much love for, and they just get outclassed. And you wouldn't think that, because it deletes bodies, right? It can delete multiple bodies. So...
Yep. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I'm going to switch out those Omnis and then kind of play with that a little bit. If I have good luck with it, I don't know what I'm going to play on Wednesday at the next locals. I might. Yeah.
Playing in another locals next Wednesday. So once again, guys, let's vote. Tell me what I should play in the comments.
And what are they voting between?
Purple Eos.
Okay.
But I am in a super meta area, so it might not do so well. Rookie Rush again, run it back. Galmon, Red Death X Turbo. Those 4.
Ooh.
That's what I have on me. I have Raidmon stuff, but it's kind of like the purple Eos where it's probably not going to compete. So pick probably one of those 3 good ones, to really see what I need to play. But probably going to be my last locals in the area.
Okay. Well, the crowd will speak. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Two Tamers Talk. Feel free to catch us next Friday. We're going to drop these episodes every week. For all you people asking me at locals, when is the next episode going to come out? Every Friday at 8:30 a.m. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Jeff, see you later.